The Bradford attorney that was called as a witness in the recent federal gifting table trial faced state lawmakers today.
Yeah, she'd been nominated by Governor Malloy to be a Superior Court judge. Two of the women that were once her clients were recently convicted in federal court of conducting that illegal pyramid scheme.
Attorney Shelley Marcus of Bradford told lawmakers today she did reveal her involvement in the case in her application for the judgeship.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Before lawmakers even got to ask the first question, Marcus addressed the issue that everyone has been talking about, her testimony as a one-time legal advisor to the so-called gifting table clients.
I testified that I never provided tax advice, and ultimately, when the jury was given its instructions, they were not permitted to consider a defense of advice of counsel with regard to the counts of filing a false tax return.
Two women from Guilford convicted in the gifting table scandal had said they had gotten legal advice that the gifting tables were illegal.
You never told anyone that the gifting tables were legal. Did you ever tell any of your clients that they were illegal?
Not using those words, put in so many words. Yes, I told them that it was most likely a violation of the statute.
I just want to be clear, from your understanding, you've never been told that you could be a subject of an investigation by the IRS or for any other criminal activity.
I can assure all of the members of the committee, as well as you and your constituents, that I will not be the subject of any such investigation.
Hey there, cats and kittens. My name is Londa Carter, and I am the recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM, that's anti-multi-level marketing videos, and on occasion I do dip my toes into true crime, but if you think about it, isn't multi-level marketing criminal? Well, today's video, we are delving into the gifting table handbook for a second time. So this is part 2 of a series that I had no idea what I was going to make, which apparently I'm making right now. Now, the cold case about Barbara Hamburg and how she was murdered in Madison, Connecticut, is in the spotlight again. Her son, Madison, same name as the town where she was, created a docuseries that's 4 parts, which is being presented right now on HBO, which, if you have not seen any of it, and if you've ever been involved in multi-level marketing, or you're thinking of joining a company, I suggest you check it out. It's really, really very well done. And even though the gifting tables is not necessarily, multi-level marketing, it's very closely related. It's been considered a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, and in my opinion, all of these things, multi-level marketing, Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, they're all very similar in terms of preying on vulnerabilities and emotions of people to get them to say yes and to join. Now, those who joined the gifting table thought that there was this tax loophole, and because of this tax loophole, everything was legit. Everything was just perfectly legal. I did watch, there was one of the lawyers who had given, I guess it was Donna. Donna Bello is the one that kind of like started all of this. The history says that it goes back to Canada to the 1980s. I haven't found anything that really shares any of the history of it other than what I see here in Connecticut with Murder on Middle Beach, which is the docuseries. I forgot to say the name of it. Anyway, that's the docuseries that Madison created. Anyway, I haven't seen anything where it talks about who started it. It's all just kind of this mystery and kind of veiled, and you just don't really know. I guess it's all shh, hush, hush, and all of that. Anyway, the women who joined this thought that, oh, this is perfectly fine because it's a gift. And according to U.S. tax laws, you can give a gift of a certain amount of money, and it varies from year to year, and it changes. And this is now 10 years, after the fact. So, it's changed most likely from what it was. But anyway, you can give a gift to anyone for a particular amount, and, you don't have to claim it as a gift. And theoretically, according to tax laws, and I'm not an accountant or anything like that, but yeah, there is this ability to give a gift of money, but it becomes really different within this instance. So today we are going to take a look at what was in the gifting table handbook, look at the section that's the U.S. tax laws, and then we're also going to check out the statement that each woman would sign when they gave their gift of $5,000 that was going to the person who was at the top. Now, there were 4 levels. At the bottom were appetizers. There was 8 women. Each woman at the appetizer level came in and gifted the woman at the top, the dessert, $5,000. So that would total $40,000. Above the appetizers were soups and salads, and there were 4 people there, 4 women. And above that were entrees, there were 2. And then the dessert, that's the one person who was in the receiving position to get the money that the women at the bottom, the appetizers, were gifting to her. So you see how it kind of like, moves on up there. Doesn't it just sound a bit suspicious? One of my subs actually hooked me up with this handbook, and I want to say thank you again. I really appreciate it because I think it is so interesting to look and see what this handbook said. And, I really can see why this would be appealing because at the time when all of this was going around in 2008, there was a financial crisis going on in the US. And there was a lot of people that were looking for money, much like, right now during the hashtag pandemic. People are susceptible to joining schemes just like this one. And desperate people will find money even if they don't have it, if they think there's going to be a payoff. Now, I'm going to apologize to you in advance. The resolution of what I'm going to be reading to you is less than stellar, but this is all we have. So I'm doing my best to read it, and trust me, when I read this, it's hard for me to see, so it's going to be hard for you to see, and maybe just listen to what I'm talking about, and don't worry about the fact that, it's crummy resolution, because it is, and there's nothing I can do about that, because this is an image, probably of an image, and, it degrades over time. Now, please do not send any hate to anyone who has ever been involved in multi-level marketing, anyone that was involved in the gifting tables. That's not the point of all of this. It's more to shed a light on a scheme that, has been shut down, but also this sort of thing perpetuates right now, especially this time of year with Christmas being around the corner. You may have heard of the Blessing Loom or the Women's Wisdom Circle or Susu, or, it could have so many different names, but they all function very similarly. And be kind to each other and to me in the comment section. The world really could use more kindness after all. This video is based on my experience, research, and my opinions. Please, as always, do your own research. And if you have any information pertaining to who killed Barbara Hamburg, please contact the Madison Police Department at 203-245-2721 or through the website that her son Madison created, which is barbarahamburgtips.com. And without further ado, let's check out the section of the handbook that covered the U.S. tax laws. U.S. tax laws. The U.S. tax code allows for an annual gift of $13,000 per person without accrual of a tax penalty. That means that you can give a gift of $13,000 to each of your friends each year without paying taxes on that amount. Similarly, you may receive a gift of $13,000 from each of your friends each year without being taxed. So if you have 10 friends that each gift you $13,000 per year, that means you receive a total of $130,000 each year that is tax-free. The gifting statements that you send with each gift or receive with each gift simply serve as your record of the gift given and the manner in which it was given, freely and with no expectation of return. In the event that you do not have a copy of the gifting statement, you can simply send a card or note along with your gift clearly stating that you are giving a gift and that you do not expect any kind of return or guaranteed payback. Additionally, as you will find during your investigation of gifting, U.S. law and U.S. tax codes actually protect gifting. Quite frankly, as long as we have lawmakers in our state and national capitals that campaign for office, as long as we have churches, charities, and nonprofit organizations like the Red Cross, and even birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, and holidays, gifting will remain legal and an equal opportunity for all who choose to engage in it. You must also be aware that there are many different kinds of gifting opportunities in existence. Some, like ours, abide by the laws, and sadly, some do not. Some gifting opportunities function with no regard for the laws or those that engage in them. Therefore, gifting opportunities on the whole have not received much good press. There are a number of websites and other media resources that warn of gifting opportunities that speak of investors and guaranteed paybacks or returns. Knowing exactly what you're participating in, what the laws are, and how to properly go about gifting is essential for anyone who enters this experience. The bottom line is to be responsible, act responsibly, and be informed. Remember that knowledge is power, and that uncertainty leads to fear, which leads to missed opportunities. If you would like further information regarding the laws of gifting, the tax codes regarding gifting, or specific state information, you are encouraged to research the publicly available information on these subjects, or contact your dessert or the woman that invited you. The dessert is the woman at the top. And I'm just going to throw this in when I joined Beachbody. In case you didn't know this, I'm a former Beachbody Hunbot. And overall, when you join something, be it the gifting table, multi-level marketing, whatever type of opportunity, you're trusting the person that tells you about it. And so the idea that you're going to go and, start doing all this investigation, just it feels a bit off, like you're doing something that you shouldn't do, because this is someone that you know and that you like and that you trust, that they are telling you the truth. But it's all been watered down, and there's a lot of misinformation in their ideas of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do based on gifting. And now let's check out that gifting statement. This is a signed statement of intent regarding forfeit and transfer of rights of property. I, fill in the blank with your name, do hereby declare under penalty of perjury that the following statements are true and correct to the very best of my knowledge. Any and all property of any nature that I transfer from my ownership and possession to, insert person's name, insert the dessert's name there, is intended as a gift and not as an investment. I have not been sold anything, and I have not purchased anything, and I have not been offered any opportunity to do so. I have been told to not expect any return of any nature, and I received no license or privilege of soliciting or recruiting other parties to participate in any activities. With this affidavit, I waive any and all rights to civil or criminal remedies against the recipient of my gift. This is not a payment of a consideration for an opportunity. I perceive no agreement between myself and the recipient of my gift, and I expect no profit, benefit, or opportunity of any nature in consideration for the property that I have transferred as a gift. I believe that I am totally within the law as it pertains to my activities described. Therefore, I have not purchased a security. My intent is to give a gift to another individual, given out of detached and disinterested generosity. And I do not intend the gift as an investment or payment for which I am owed anything of any value or nature, and I acknowledge that my gift does not entitle me to any future opportunity or benefit of any nature. I understand that blank, insert the dessert's name, accepts only gifts, and that she absolutely does not accept any property offered with the intent of its owner that a future return or opportunity be obtained or secured by virtue of their having transferred said gift to another individual. Therefore, I have not purchased a security. I have agreed under this gift contract to not reassert any right to the property, and I now give freely as gift to another individual. I am fully informed and a consenting adult, and I have not been misled in any way. This contract has every characteristic and obligation in common with my giving of a present to another, whoever that may be. The recipient of this gift has refused to accept payments of any kind and will accept only gifts. I agree to personally present this gift in cash or to send a bank check by using a private carrier, e.g., Federal Express or UPS. I insert the person's name who is giving the gift. Do hereby declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing statements are true and correct and are binding upon me to the full extent expressed therein. Signature of person executed this, whatever the date is and the year of, and the amount that the person is giving. Boy, all of that sure is a very elaborate way to cover up what's really going on. Yes, you can give money, and you can give up to a certain amount, and up to that certain amount, because it changes over time and it may be different from state to state within the U.S., you don't have to pay tax on it. But above a particular amount, either the person who gives the gift or the person who receives the gift has to pay tax on it. And there's a form that you fill out with the IRS. However, it's really different, if you give your daughter or your son money for their wedding, money because they're going to school, money for a down payment on a house. That's vastly different than entering into a group in which you are paying a certain amount, a gift, to become part of that group. Because, let me be clear. Anyone who is joining something like this, they're not doing it like, I'm just giving away this $5,000 because I'm so generous and I expect nothing. No, they're told that they will move up and they will reach the dessert spot. And when they reach the dessert spot, they'll be given the gifts. They'll be given the $40,000. So it's very different, And this handbook over and over and over again claims there's no expectation, but do you really buy that? Do you really think anyone entered this thinking, you know what? I'm just doing this out of my free will, the goodness of my heart, because I want to help my sisters. No one would join if they thought they're not going to receive something. No one is going to just give a random stranger that's in a group of women $5,000 and think, I'm not getting anything. That just is not going to happen. Then layer this with, well, if you don't have the money, you can take out a second mortgage. You can sell your car. All these different things that they would encourage people to do so that they could raise the $5,000 to join the gifting table. That just isn't going to fly. And then add to it the secrecy that was around the tables. That's not going to fly either. Overall, any system like this is destined to collapse because you have to keep finding those people that will come in at the appetizer level, pay that $5,000. Over time, you're just going to run out of people. It's going to be impossible to keep filling in those slots. And I think that probably caused a lot of tension within Connecticut, within these women who were involved in the gifting tables, because people were looking to get to the dessert level. They wanted that $40,000. They're like, okay, I give $5,000 and basically I'm going to get $35,000 back because all these other people are going to participate. And they were expected to bring in 1 to 2 other women. So you are recruiting. This is not just people randomly just like, oh, I want to join. You are required to recruit people as well to join because you got to fill those 8 slots. Now, much of the language that's used throughout this little handbook is very much aligned to the law of attraction. Someone who comes to mind is Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks. I did a video on her, him, whatever. I mean, this, if you know about Esther, then you'll know why I'm like confused of like, what do I even call this entity? But Esther or Abraham refers to being in the receiver mode. So it really makes me kind of wonder if Donna Bello was the person that kind of started this whole gifting table thing in, the Connecticut area. Was she familiar with Esther Hicks? Was she familiar with the law of attraction? Because so much of the language is built in. They use manifesting, they use your intuition, all of these different words. It just, to me, it goes right back. Wow, this is very much law of attraction. And the law of attraction, when you go back historically, and I've done videos on this as well, it's all connected to the New Thought movement. Something else that I kind of wonder, because the women who were involved in this are close to what my age is. I kind of think, when they were little girls, was it like me, where, I got these, and I did a video on Avon a long time ago, but I had like all these little things that my mom got me from Avon. Were they around that? Did their mom go to Tupperware parties? Did they perceive all of this, women empowerment, women getting together as just, a regular course of life? But then I think the thing is, anyone who made it to the top has to know that most people aren't. And when you start taking actions like that, doing something where most people are destined to fail, you're involved in criminal activity. And to further make this all criminal of getting people to come in and spend $5,000 to be at the appetizer level, they were involved in emails and phone conversations and the wire fraud as well. So let me know, what are your thoughts? What do you think about how they try to get around the tax laws? And what did you think about the statement that they signed? Because to me, that statement, they're really trying to just, wash away any kind of, claim that they're doing anything illegal. All of this to me seems to be an elaborate way to make people think that everything is on the up and up. And in the handbook, it states again and again, and you hear it also from the women, that, oh, we had attorneys look at this, we had accountants look at this. I can't think of anybody who went to law school or is an accountant that would look at this, of people being required to pay $5,000 to join an empowerment group, and then that $5,000 is going to someone who's at the top, and that they're going to move up and eventually get to the top. I don't see how any of them would think any of that was okay, Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I want to know what you think. Let me know, and I will see you next time. Remember, you're beautiful and I love you.